Okay, hi, I'm Sasha. I'm at Google and I work on the ChromeOS graphics and compositor team. So I wanted to just give a little update on what we've been doing with HDR, where we are now, and where we're hoping to go. So just to give a recap, this is sort of the transfer function we've been using for ChromeOS for HDR monitor devices. We have an SBRG-like curve at the beginning and then sort of a linear segment for the HDR content on the other end, and this programmable elbow that we can move depending on the sort of nits we want and how much we want to allocate to the SDR content. And for this, we use the display primaries directly for the color space. So that's been working well for us. So why bother change it? So HDR10 is the most common HDR format. It's becoming very prevalent on web content, and we're also starting to see a lot more web content, images, videos that are HDR than we had been before. Similarly, there's been a huge uptick in external monitors that have that kind of capability, and people just really have been excited to get to use these things. So for people who aren't familiar what HDR10 includes, it's 10 bits per channel, 2020 color primaries, and a PQ transfer function that is non-linear. So one of the first steps to taking advantage of HDR10 content is to set the output metadata DRM property for the connectors, which is a post-blending property that we utilize the BT 2020 primaries to set, as well as the white point and different aspects, the luminance of the display. In order to set this, we have to do color space conversion and tone mapping ahead of time for the content. So it's really just the final step before sending off to the display. It's a more standard approach. It's available on a lot of different drivers, so it's been helpful for us. And the nice thing is that we get all of this information for the output metadata blob already just through the EDID, so there's not a huge amount of work to be done there. So what's more interesting is what's coming up next. So what we'd really like to do is be able to dynamically adjust the SDR white level, similar to moving that elbow joint, to be able to move with the content for dynamic metadata, which is required for HDR10+. As well as for brightness changes, ambient lighting changes, user brightness changes. We're really excited about the ability for per plane color management. Definitely interested in the Hackfest that's coming up. To take advantage of having overlays with different color spaces would be a huge savings, and not having to use shaders would be amazing. And like I said, the dynamic metadata would be a huge change for us. Making per frame changes depending on the content. So that's all I have for you right now, but hopefully we'll have more in the future. Thanks.